Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Today I'd like to say just a few words concerning legal documents. At this point in time, I'm headed downtown to the county to record some documents concerning issues that I may or may not have to deal with. After filing these documents, hopefully I won't have to deal with them. But what I will say is that it is very important for all of us to know and to understand where we are in this land. According to the ancient canons of law, which these people function based upon, the canons of law, ecclesiastical law stemming from their Bible, or the Bible. Within the canons of law, there is a thing called Sesta KV, or the Sesta KV Trust. The Sesta KV Trust is a trust in canon law which is given to the European nations as a code for their law. And in these canons of law, it states that all persons living in the confines of the jurisdictions of those countries which follow the canons of law are presumed to be dead, lost at sea. The word citizen, if you are a part of the United States and you are a citizen is one who is civiter mortis. Civiter mortis means civilly dead. And you can all look it up. The word citizen comes from the Latin term civiter mortis, which means to be civilly dead. And then the dictionaries at law go on to explain why one would be presumed dead or civilly dead. This is because he has no rights, and that they are a debt slave. Anyone who is a citizen to any nation is a debt slave. The United States was founded upon the Articles of the Confederation. The United States of America, I should say, was founded upon the Articles of Confederation. And the Constitution came about as a business plan. A business plan for a land which became bankrupt. If all of you remember from elementary school, or if you went to college, or if you took civics class, you remember that the Constitution was written after the Declaration of Independence was put forth in 1776. This was a brand new country which had no money. It had no resources whatsoever. And then this is one thing that ushered in slavery. The fact of the matter is, in most instances, anytime you find a corporation or a business that is having economic difficulty, they have to restructure and they have to bring about a business plan. So the Constitution is really a business plan that secured the rights of those people who signed it. So in essence, the Constitution can work for you and me. Really, it's all that an indigenous people have. But the Constitution is really binding on those people who signed it. And it took 7 years for the Constitution to travel from Philadelphia all the way around the country and back to the capital at that time, which was Philadelphia, to be signed. One way of claiming your status is to assign yourself to the Constitution of the United States of America to ensure your entitlements. Another way to fight using the Constitution in various court cases or situations you might be in is to utilize the Constitution of the United States in the ways that the Supreme Courts have used them and the U.S. District Courts have used them when they came up with various Supreme Court rulings on whatever issue you may be dealing with. So based on the fact that we are presumed to be lost at sea, according to the Sesta KV Trust, and all of these things, I'm going to go back and I'm going to explain in detail a lot of these things. But according to law, we are lost at sea, and we are not on the land, because this country is functioning in admiralty law. The Constitution, the courts, the court systems are functioning in equity, for money, for suit, and they deal with you as a person. But they deal with you as a person in the manner in which you don't understand, or you do understand, but you do not stand over them. You don't understand because there is a language that stands next to the language of English, and it is known as legalese. Legalese sounds like English, spells like English, looks like English, but the words, certain words, have different meanings than what they are commonly known to be. As it relates to this case, the word person. The word person, according to the dictionaries at law, do not mean a natural sentient being created by Allah. A person, according to the laws of this land, and you can look this up, and we're going to go in detail about these issues and the definitions. We're going to look at them closely. The word person means fictitious entity, corporation, state. So in legal documents, when you find the word person being used, or if they're adjudicating you, they're trying to bring you in for some suit, there's no court in the land except that they want to take and extract money from your pockets. This is the point and purpose of the legal system. And it is known as the legal system because legal has nothing to do what we know to be lawful or halal. Lawful and legal, according to the dictionaries of law, one of the dictionaries of law that explain it is called a dictionary of law in the year 1892, says that legal is something that is morally binding. Legal is something which is not morally binding, but it is the law, but it has the color of law. As an example, on the books of the United States judicial system, it is not legal. It is illegal for a black person to be free. In order to change that, it took an act of Congress for the Senate and the House of Representatives to convene and come to some resolution, which in fact became a public law. It is not legal for quote-unquote black people to vote. Every 22 years they have to reconvene and vote on that again, to give black people, or what we know as African American or colored people, the ability to vote. There are a lot of things that are legal, but they are not lawful, according to the Constitution and according to the Book of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, we have to look at the true meanings and understand who we are and where we are, and understand that what you think is really isn't. You're not a person according to law. You're a person as it relates to the common usage of the word. You are a person in the fact that you are a living, breathing, sentient being, cognizant, aware, of your surroundings and are able to conduct yourselves in a responsible and liable manner and to handle your own affairs. You are not a client. You're the client of no one. A client is someone who at law means a person who is incompetent. You're not one who falls under the authority of an attorney. The word attorney is from the Latin word attorn, which means to return all property to the king. An attorney is one who does that. He returns all of the property to the king. His job and his responsibility is to extract as much money from your pockets as he can possibly do. Because he looks at you according to the legal definition of the word person. You're a fictitious entity for use in commerce. A person is a fictitious entity, a corporation, a state, which is used in commerce, which is liable to sue and be sued. This is what a person is. And if you want to look at the word human being, according to the dictionaries of law, a human being is not even mentioned. You can't even find the word human being in most of the dictionaries at law. But when you turn to John Bouvier's Dictionary of Law, you find that the definition at law to human being is a monster. So this is what these people view you as. The people of the land who stand under no nationality, who stand up under colors to represent them, or ethnic connections, which can't even be proved in most cases. A lot of what I'm saying may or may not be understood by many of you. Some of you may be so deeply entrenched in brainwashed, entrenched in enslavement, that you may not even be able to listen to what I'm saying. But for those of you who do have an inkling of cognizance, who are sentient and alive, it will be good if you would consider some of the things that I'm saying in order to navigate your vessel properly through these admiralty waters, through these courts, and through these various loopholes that a lot of us get snagged upon. We have to make our way out of the entrapment that has been set for us, the snares which have been put in place to dismember us. And for the most part, a lot of us are dismembered. A lot of the communities are in shambles. A lot of people have are making shirk with Allah by giving their oath of allegiance to the kuffar, and they're giving their oaths of allegiance to people who know absolutely nothing and care absolutely nothing about your well-being and your status in the country in which you live. So inshallah, we'll be able to come to grips with some of these things and get a lot of you the kind of help that you need. I hear a lot of complaints about things that are happening in the Islamic community, from legal problems, which some of them are simple and some of them are serious. Things from child support, traffic incidents, lawsuits of various kinds, illegal taxation. So there's a way for us to fight these things and get our proper footing in this land. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وأشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت وأستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.